And I want to play this piece. It's a snippet from Chuck Todd, and then I want to talk a little bit about it afterwards because it pains me. Uh, this pains me, and I want you to listen to the young woman in the cornfield. I want you to listen to the woman in the cornfield at the end, and then I want to kind of extrapolate on that. It's very important. Let's go with it.
Taking a look at election results over the past few decades, it shows us a flashing warning sign for Democrats as the nation's urban-rural divide has deepened. Democrats have increasingly lost support in rural America. In 1996, then President Clinton, he won a whopping 1,117 counties, rural counties, including all but 20 of Iowa's 99 counties. Basically, he won half of the nation's rural counties. But in 2008, Barack Obama won less than half of that, just 455 rural counties, even though he had won a popular vote by 7 points nationwide. That's all the rural counties he could win. Fast forward to 2020, the number shrunk again. Joe Biden won just 194 counties. That's just 17% of the total that Bill Clinton won in 1996. And the latest NBC News polling shows you that the problem has not gone away. It's gotten worse. Trust me, Terry McAuliffe in Virginia knows this. Yes, Democrats have an advantage in the urban areas, 24 points on the generic congressional ballot. But as you move out geographically, the Democratic numbers shrink and the Republican numbers grow and grow big time. 34 points right now. The number appears to be growing. For our current episode of Meet the Press Reports, I traveled to Iowa. I talked to voters about why the Democratic Party is simply hemorrhaging rural support.
Do you feel as if simply having a D next to your name is why you lost?
Yes.
Patty Ruff lost her state house seat representing Clayton County in 2016.
We had our picture taken with Hillary Clinton stop by, as all candidates do.
Sure.
And I full-heartedly, I guess now in retrospect, but I posted it. I was a proud mom, and I posted it on Facebook. And they used that, they cut my son out.
Literally, you have a picture with Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
And that's all they did.
Yep, they ran it.
You're a national Democrat.
Yep.
Clayton was one of 31 counties that were carried by Barack Obama and Donald Trump, overwhelmingly rural and home to roughly a quarter of all Iowans. In 2020, Biden failed to win a single one of these counties back.
There was no way Biden was going to win Iowa in 2020. It just was not going to happen.
Brian Brunig chairs the Clayton County Democratic Party.
Any version of Joe Biden?
None. It was not going to happen as long as Trump was on the thing.
We got annihilated in 2020. Democrats did here in Iowa in the state races.
Ruby Bodeker ran and lost a campaign for State House in 2020.
I feel like an exhausted rural Democrat. I'm tired. I feel like there's a lot of weight on me. Like I honestly just want to be done a lot of days. I mean, I have 4 kids. I have a full-time job. I'm a single mom. I work. I don't even make $15 an hour, and I'm tired.
Our special report also has a story by my colleague Antonia Hilton about how black rural voters feel abandoned by the Democratic Party.
Let me qualify something. The woman in the field, all right? Her reality is also reflected by, she's a Democrat. And her reality, her suffering, is also reflected by her Republican neighbor. But the way the Republican system works is they create boogie persons, right? We create Nancy Pelosi as this left-wing California liberal. We create AOC as this socialist being. We create, I forgot the other one that they like to use, Miss Clinton. And notice how often they use women. It's amazing how the misogyny works as alongside the attacks, right? And they make all these people boogie persons, right? And then they tag all Democrats to this, into some concept, right? So by running and tagging you and you staying away, it becomes the reality to true Republicans. And remember, a political party is sort of a cultural thing. One of my business partners, great guy, great friend of mine, he's a Republican. He's a New York Republican, right? And he's a Republican his entire life. And he is is still my trusted partner because he does a few things for me every so often with old clients that need service, he takes care of them for me. And I mean, the one thing we can do, me and this other Republican guy, is talk. And it's funny because we agree on just about everything except, again, he believes in a little bit more independent individualism than I do, but not to the extent of hurting people. He believes a lot of what I believe. But what we both notice again is what is done, and it's mostly done on the right, but some of it on the left, very little bit on the left, right? And I have an interview with a long interview, it's a 43-minute interview that I did today that's going to kind of tell you what the Democratic problem is, right? We always talk about everybody being our friends, right? And a Republican would be tearing into a Democrat and say, my friend, and all that kind of stuff. And to some extent, I do that, but I just don't turn the other cheek. What I do is I don't do it for the politician, but for the people who the politician has snowed, I do it for them. So for those of you who criticize me for always reaching out to the other side, I'm not reaching out to politicians on the other side because they know what they're doing. I'm not reaching out to the pundits on the other side because they know the damage that they're doing already, because that is a damage that allows them to succeed. Remember, Republican policy is non-existent. There isn't Republican policy that has been successful in this country. It's not. It's not. There's no Republican policy that has been successful, and there's a reason why. Because their goal is to support their benefactors and the neoliberal Democrats as well, by the way. So my goal is to always address my fellow citizen, irrespective of party, with respect. I'm not gonna, if they slap me, I'm slapping them back. If they punch me, I'm punching them back. If they talk, if they listen to me, I'll listen to them. And I'll try to create that platform where we can listen to each other. And that is how you get the communication going. But one of the reasons I will never hold it against the other side is I remember I wasn't a right winger or anything like that, but I had certain prejudices that I've overcome. And I've overcome them because, one, few people were willing to talk to me, and two, I was willing to accept and change. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.